Hi guys, so today I'll be talking about how you can create a clean site architecture, categorize URL structure from the ground up before you build a website. It's really important that you build a clean site architecture, especially for SEO. I'm going to show you how to do this and actually apply this to your Duda website. There's a free template included, so stay around and you'll be able to receive it. So all you have to do effectively is create something called a sitemap before you build a website, right? Duda website or any website. And the sitemap consists of, well, it looks like something like this. It consists of a main navigation section, which it looks like, well, classes this area here, and then it has a sub-page section, which is classed as this section in here, and then it has a sub-page section, which is if you had a sub-page down here, and then you had more sub-pages going in here. I'm going to show you a good example of a website that does this. Another website I'm building currently. So when you go services and it goes aggregates, then you've got the sub-page down here. So you've got the main navigation, you've got the sub-page, and then you've got the sub-page. And it's really important that you create a sort of an in-depth categorized URL structure with multiple keywords and multiple topics to rank for multiple keywords and topics, obviously. And you want to create these specific pages in a categorized way. If you start creating them without any categories, or without a clean site architecture, it can actually have a negative impact on your SEO. So it's really important that you build a clean site architecture before you build the website. And you can actually show this to your client before you go and build the website to actually get it approved before you build the website. You don't want to build any pages that the client doesn't want. So this is one of the ways I do it. I build a clean site architecture, sitemap, and it covers all the different pages, all the different pose URLs, and the keywords that you can actually write about for each page. So obviously you've got the keywords down here, you've got the URL here, you've got the sub pages, you've got the sub pages, and you've got the main navigation. And then you can even go down and look at service areas if you're doing multiple location pages. You can go down and go into your blog posts if you're doing multiple blog posts. So this is a really clean way of doing it, and it actually sets it out, and it's almost like building your website on a spreadsheet for actually adding the design and the functionality to the website. So effectively, if you want this, all you have to do is join my Facebook group and you'll be able to get it in there. I'm also giving you a free email template, which looks like this, which actually you can send to clients when you build the sitemap, right? So you can just input obviously the client's name, you can add the sitemap URL, and then you can actually send this to clients when you've built the sitemap, because it's quite a hard thing to explain to clients. I always struggle with explaining the sitemap to a client, so I thought one of the easiest ways of doing this is actually creating an email template for you guys to send to people, to send to clients, and actually explain what it is. So the website sitemap is a visual representation of your project. The sitemap details each and every page on your website, and it will need approval before we start making the content for the website. So one of the great parts about this is if you are building a website from scratch using the site architecture template or the sitemap, you can actually start building content around these pages before you actually start building the website, right? So you can actually build a keyword of where you can actually add the keyword for that page, because it's important that each page is ranking or in the direction of a specific keyword. So if you have removal, the keyword that it's ranking for is mold removal. So you can actually go ahead and actually start building content around this. So it's a really clean way of doing it. It's a really interesting technique. It makes life easier if you do own a website design agency or an SEO, digital marketing agency, whatever it is, and you want to build content for certain pages. I assume you do. This is one of the ways you can do it with site architecture in mind. And one of the ways you can, what's interesting about doing this is you can actually have a negative impact on your SEO if you build long URLs with loads and loads of keywords in, and they're not actually categorized, right? And one of the things I recommend, if we go to the whiteboard here, so one of the things I recommend is only going 2 steps down. So you go the main URL, obviously, whatever it is, and then you have subpage, and then you have the subpage. You can't go any further than that. I wouldn't recommend going any further than that. You only want to get your crawl depth. If you understand what a crawl depth is how far Google bots have to crawl your website to find that specific page. You only want it 2 steps down. So if we said main URL or main domain, and then you have a kind of a step, right? If we say so that's the top of the step, and then you've got 1 step, and then you've got 2 steps. This is like a rule of thumb that you can look at it by. So you got your sub page, and then you got your sub page, or you could just say sub page. But this is one of the ways I like to look at it, and it's a really good way of actually building your website like this, because then it's obviously having a positive impact impact on your SEO. You're not putting too many keywords in at once. You know, for example, you're not just having the main domain and then possibly having just a sub page, which is like, you know, top 10 tips and toys for your cat or something like that, right? Because that will have a negative impact on your SEO, and Google will only read like up to here, and then it will just stop reading. Because once you have actually a nice category, you could actually put it like, say, you could say top 10 tips. For example, you could actually change this, right? So we'd move this up here. If you have a categorized URL structure, you can do it this way. You could say, you know, dash top 10 tips, right? And then you have another dash top 10 tips for toys, or top 10 tips for cat toys, maybe, or something like that. But you get the point, right? Because you want to have it categorized, and then Google will actually read this, right? But you don't want to have obviously another page saying, you know, for your cat and dog or something like that, because then it will start to get a bit ridiculous. You just need it so it's clean, main domain, you have your sub page, and then you have your sub page, and you can actually add the keywords within there. So I hope this helps you out, guys. Again, if you want the free sort of sitemap example here of the mold removal website, just join my Facebook group and you'll be able to receive it in there. You'll also be able to receive the free email sitemap template, and you'll be able to use this and apply it to your Duda website. And what's great about Duda is you can actually build a really clean site architecture and build up pages really easily using the pages section here. You can build folders. You can build even more pages. You can move the about in there, see, like that. So it's really simple if you are using Duda, and this is one of the ways you can do it using the sitemap template. So I hope that helps, and thank you very much, guys.